You're listening to a MonkeyBuns Production. Well, hello. Hello. It's me, Alfie. You're listening to Alfie Pod's Fantasy Footy. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? Hey, it's good to have you back. International break has been here. It's still ongoing as I speak. I think there's another match tomorrow. As I record this, it's Tuesday, the 13th of October. The rain is hitting the window. It's getting colder. It's getting darker every day. And soon the winter coat will be on. And then it'll be Christmas. But let's not talk about that. Now, for this show, Das Boot Room, today joining me is Tommy Gunn and Sam Manley. Phil Dawkes couldn't join because he was working. I don't know why. Only Harrogate FC were playing Bradford or something like that. And Nathan was working as well. So it's just the three of us, but it's quite nice. Sometimes that's kind of good. You know, it opens up other avenues for people to talk where they wouldn't feel they would be confident to speak. So it's kind of nice they had free reign. I say that all my friends are confident to speak. Tommy Gunn, of course, a.k.a. Ryder, he prepared loads of notes. Bless him. And they always tend to fall on the Arsenal subject. And I do try and steer it away. But I have cut out loads of nonsense, so don't worry. So we basically cover our league, which very briefly, then we get on to talk about, well, we talk about Arsenal for a little bit, then Everton, and we even discussed Man United. Now, I know a lot of the people that listen to this are Man United fans. I want you to know that I'm on your side, okay? But you've got to admit, you United fans are a different breed of person, and you've grown up in this bubble, and there's slight delusion there. And I find it sad that so many pundits, ex-players of yours or pundits, don't speak the truth because they're mates with the manager. Yeah, good. I'll stop talking. And at some point throughout the show, you might hear my new song about Jose Mourinho's dead dog. That's all in good taste. Hey, let's get going. Das Boot Room.
Hello, football! Are you ready to go to Das Boot Room? Drink some beer, talk some stuff, roll about, get football rough in Das Boot Room of Das Boot Room. Are you scoring a goal over my face? Das Boot Room.
How are you, boys?
Alfie, yeah, good man.
Good. Manners, are you all right?
I'm here. I'm alive.
Okay, so we've got Manners and we've got Tommy Gunn and no Phil Dawkes and no Nathan.
Thank God. Just the quality left now.
So there's no Spurs chat this week, I doubt, which means we might be Arsenal heavy. What do you reckon, Ryder?
I think we might be a little bit, yeah. I was going to say we're sorting the wheat from the chaff, but it is just basically the chaff from the chaff, isn't it, really?
I can rant about Mourinho.
Okay, well, that's
as
very
much as the next man.
Nicely linked because I have been working on my Jose Mourinho's Dead Dog song today.
Oh, yeah,
right.
I haven't listened to that yet.
No, well, we don't have to listen yet. I mean, it's not finished yet, but let's just say it's done in poor taste, which I'm sure everyone will enjoy, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
So, it's international break. Have you been watching international break? Have you enjoyed international break? What happens in international break?
International break caught me out. Even on Saturday morning, I forgot it was international break. And then about 11 o'clock, I was like, I need to set my team up. And then I was like, right, what football's on? Just thinking like, how much is going to be like, just like the next 24 hours of solid football matches. And then I realised it was international break. Or a few people told me. And I was like, And it just like, it's just nothing happening. Everyone's whinging about how packed the calendar is. And then we all stopped to play Wales.
Yeah.
It does seem a little bit bizarre.
Well, I as you know, I sort of inadvertently, I've planned my weekends, instinctively plan my weekends to watch football all day Saturday, and I forgot to unplan my Saturday. So I got to Saturday and suddenly I had a clear calendar and nothing to do. So I can't actually remember what I did. I might have just watched TV. That's exciting, that is. Man, so you didn't watch football, but you never normally watch football anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, I don't. And I didn't listen and I didn't know. But that was because I wasn't really sure of what was on. At least, to be fair, it's the same problem with bloody lockdown football or semi-lockdown football, is that I never know what's on when. You know, it used to be, okay, there's a few outliers, but basically 3:00 Saturday. I'd always know that I at least need to get Radio 5 live on at 3:00 on a Saturday. Now I'm all over the shop. and even more so when the international breaks come, because I'm just like, unless it was well advertised, I don't know when the bloody thing's on or what channel, where I'm going to go and steal a stream from,
Yeah, good chat. Hey, let's look at the draft fantasy table, shall we? For what's our league called again? The PJ Branson GC House League. I'll start from. Should we start from top from bottom? Shall we? So number one is with 4 wins out of 4 with 12 points is me. Unfortunately, bad for the narrative of the podcast, but unfortunately that's the case. Well,
and then somebody else joins you exactly in that place.
Well, you're not. You're second
wins out of 4 with 12 points.
But
Sam Manley,
inferior player point totals, put you in second. Sam Manley, well done, Sam. Then it goes to Chris Isherwood, and then Phil Dawkes, who's only one. He lost a game. Chris Dow, Simon Moon, Nathan, Robson, Benny P, Tristan, and then bottom of the league, played 4, won 1, lost 3. It's you, Ryder.
Yeah, I know it is. Well, there's 5 of us on 3 points. There's 5 of us with 1 win. I'm looking at that bottom 5, thinking who is going to sort of lose interest the quickest, and well, it's not going to be Tristan, because he's going to swat his way out of this. It's not going to be Robson. It's not going to be Nathan. So it's probably going to be Ben.
Sorry, so Ben is gone already, isn't he?
Well, I'm hoping that Ben's basically gone already, and then he just leaves his team, and then that Christmas bit comes, and he's still playing like Gareth Bale, 3 seasons after he's gone to Real Madrid and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just hoping that kind of thing happens again to Ben, so it stops me coming last. That said, I have made a whole load of transfers, and I've jigged my team, and I threw a load of people in the bin, and I've set myself up quite well this week, I think.
Oh, you've invested
every week.
Yeah, I know. It's active management, but at the same time, last week's results were freak results. So let's just take it back to actually that. There were silly scores. We had the 7-2, and we had the 6-1, and we had rampaging midfielders scoring those goals and stuff. So it doesn't really, when you get a freak results like that, it blows, an honest. Unless you've got one of those players, it means that you're never going to win. So
have the foresight to get those players. Have the foresight to get them. Yeah.
What you need is basically a set of results to come in like Loro's predictions. You need 0-2, 2-0, 0-2, 2-0, and then you've got a reasonable chance of actually competing. But all the time you've got freak results, it's a disaster. I got steamrolled.
You only scored 35 points, mate.
Well, I'm only scoring 35 points at the moment. I'm scoring mid-30s, which is just absolutely hopeless. So I've gone back to basics.
Hang on, before you get back to basics, look at your team first.
Yeah.
James Van Der Beek. He's now gone, which ironically he might start playing now.
He's hopeless.
Ben Mendy, 1 point. Still got him?
Yeah.
But that might still come good. Gabriel, dreams don't come true, apparently. Walker Peters, you kept him. 6 points, he did all right. Conte, you dropped Conte. I picked him.
Got rid of him.
Yeah, we play with Conte points. Aubameyang, another 2 points.
Do you know what I heard in the week? I heard it's actually Aubameyang. We're saying it too. No. We've been saying it wrong. It's Aubameyang. A bit like it's Colombia, not Colombia. It's Colombia. Colombia. Yeah. And we've been saying it's Aubameyang. Anyway, so you don't say it right anyway. You say Aubameyang.
I can't. It's because I can't say his name.
I've been meaning to pick you up on that for the last year and a half.
It's just one of those things that I can't say. So Aubameyang.
Just call him Pierre.
Aubameyang. That's
Aubameyang.
it. Aubameyang. Christ. Anyway, so who have you dropped? Who have you picked up?
I've picked up. So I've got my front 3. Basically, I'm building around my front 3, but I've picked up a mini sort of Palace core. So I'm thinking, I was looking at the fixtures, trying to think where the clean sheet would be. Palace look pretty organised, to be honest. They do look quite good, but they're playing Brighton. I thought that's their like mini derby. But in the absence of any fans, it's not going to be quite so hostile. But then Brighton have got Maupay, who seems to be scoring every week. So that little run's got to come to an end. So I'm basically thinking, where's that clean sheet going to be? It's probably going to be Palace. And I managed to pick up their 2 best defenders. So, and I've gone for the new... multi-million-dollar man at Leicester, Fofana. What do they pay for him? Like 35 million quid or something?
I don't know. Is he a midfielder? Or?
Well, I've got him in as a defender, so I'm thinking he's going to... for that kind of money, he's going to play. Whether he plays this week or not, I don't know. But he's obviously all right. Leicester need to get themselves sort of back together a bit, really. But so yeah, I've got the Leicester goalie and then the Leicester defender and a mini Palace core, and then I've got Walker Peters just hanging about. So
you're basically banking on 2 clean sheets. And
yeah.
Build from the back, and then hopefully your forward line. But your forward line, Vardy,
Aubameyang and Bamford.
And Bamford, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I've gone for Hojbjerg,
Højbjerg,
Højbjerg, whatever. That fella. That's why I've got my Norway top on. Is he Norwegian?
No,
I
think he's Danish. Isn't he?
Oh, whatever. You know.
Oh no, is he Swedish?
Funny letters in the name.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing for a good team, isn't he?
He's playing really well. He's playing really
for
well.
a good team, those Spurs team. They're really good, aren't they? I still think they would have spanked United 6-1, regardless of that sending off. Regardless, I mean, they were always going to spank. It's a different result to that. The Liverpool Aston Villa one. I think that was a bit of a freak result, but the Spurs one, I think they would have smashed Man United. So we'll get to see Man United again this weekend. That'd be quite fun. Manners. You won again, obviously. 4 wins out of 4 for you. You beat Simon Moon, who is always declared as a rival, but is yet to live up to his expectation. But a good competitor, and you beat him 54-50. Who's your star man at the moment, eh? Ross Barkley.
The Barkley moment was inspired. It was absolutely inspired. Bloody brilliant. And I do have to thank the rather annoying FIFA 21-year-old playing and apprentice who sits next to me, who is addicted to Sky Sports, and
that's how you knew.
He's got the Sky Sports app, and it goes every time anything happens. And so I've got into the habit now of saying, "What is it? What is it?" And then he's like, so he just told me the Barkley thing, and I needed to clean up my midfield a little bit anyway. And also, I have always been interested in him. So I thought, I didn't necessarily expect, to be honest, I wasn't even sure if he'd play straight away.
No.
And then I wasn't sure, obviously, that we've seen this a lot of times where there's a, decent English footballer who's at a big club and not getting enough football. He goes somewhere else, you think, oh yeah, that'll be perfect for him. Jack Wilshere or whatever, a Wilshire. And it always, not always, but it can often actually just be awful. And also it was a freak game. But that all said, he did look the business. He did look.
Yeah, he did. He missed quite a few chances as well.
Yeah, exactly. But he I don't know. He looked. It's difficult to say because Villa were just running all over them, and it was such a freak situation. Every single one of the Villa forwards looked like they were going to score pretty much every time they had a ball. Anyway, the point is that Barkley it worked out well, and I'm pretty pleased about that. And also, it could work out quite nicely for the rest of the season or through.
You got Jorginho as well, who seems hell bent on scoring a penalty every game at the moment. He scored you 17
Somebody told
points.
me that. I can't remember who. Somebody told me he took pens, so that's why I picked him up. Yeah, that's worked out a treat as well. Until, of course, there are no bloody penalties, and then he's just a dead weight and carrying in the midfield. So I'll ride that train as long as I can bear to.
Mate, I have to say though, you picking up Barkley, genuinely, I don't know about you, I was genuinely surprised when you did that, Manners, because you haven't been that active in the transfer market ever. And, that's normally something one of us would do, I think, pick him up. But the fact you got in there straight away. Geez.
Well, it's something to be said for having the alerts on your phone. The problem is, as soon as you have sport alerts on your phone or anything, it's so bloody annoying because you get alerts for, some random piece of old rubbish that you don't care about, and you just getting dinged enough as it is during the day with everything else that you turn it off. So there was a bit of luck involved, but yeah, I did literally as soon as he said it, I said that has got to be something worth doing. So I did it as quickly as I could.
So is it true, Manners, that you pick players because you think they're handsome?
I used to do that more when I used to watch more football, so I knew how good looking they were.
So
I still don't know what click looks like. I was trying to, and I watched a lot of the Leeds game. I watched some of it anyway, and I still couldn't pick him out. I don't know.
I think they all do the similar job, so they all look kind of similar on the pitch in a weird way.
Thomas Partey is still not showing on the website. So
what do you
that's
mean?
Interesting.
Ishwood's got him.
He's not there.
Ishwood's got him.
Oh, it's picked him up already.
Yeah.
When did that happen? Today?
No, the waivers on Friday.
I'm furious.
Yeah.
He'll be on the waivers anyway.
But I mean, how good's he going to be? I don't know really. How good's he going to be in DL? He's going to be brilliant at football. He's going to be brilliant for Arsenal. But I don't think he's going to be. How many goals is he going to get? I mean, he scored hardly any. He's not really been allowed to. That's part of the reason that he wanted to come. He's been kind of Simeone sort of respects that. They call it that cinco, that number 5 role.
Yeah.
It's really, really important in sort of Argentinian football. And Simeone kind of sees him as that. That was his role, and that was his job, and that's why he liked him so much, and that was why he was so reluctant to let him leave. But he had a release clause. So when you've got a release clause, you don't deal with the club. You just ring up La Liga and say, we're pushing the button on the release clause. And they go, all right then, have we got the money? And you say, yeah. All right, done. That's it. The club have got no say in it. Simeone was like, you're not having him. And we just went, all right, bosh, well, we'll just ring the Liga then and we'll have to put the money down. And to be fair, the board stepped up and put the money down, and actually it's really good. And, I think from a transfer window perspective, I think they've done really well. The Aubameyang deal was obviously fundamental, and the Partey deal was equally very, very important to back that manager. So I think, going back to our point, where's Partey going to play in DF? I think it's going to be very hard to tell. He's obviously going to play. He brings a massive dimension to the midfield,
he might tackle
which
loads.
Didn't have before.
He might tackle loads.
I think he might tackle loads. He's been used to tackling loads. He played in the game when we played Atletico and they knocked us out. We basically had the ball for ages, couldn't score, and they got a cheeky away goal and knocked us out. Simeone got sent off. Do you remember that? It was a couple of seasons ago. I didn't even remember him of featuring in that game. But he played, they knocked us out, the Europa, and that was annoying. And that's all I've really been able to sort of find out about him, to be fair. Other than he looks like a monster, and it's going to be brilliant, and we're really pleased to have him.
But hang on, right. So does that mean that... obviously, I'm a big fan, as you are, big fan of Danny Unning's Ceballos. Does that mean he's going to play alongside Ceballos, or is Ceballos more likely to be pushed forward a bit more?
So I think Shaq is still going to play, and then really it's El Nenny's having quite a good season. But it was really those two. They're only sort of our main central midfielders. We forget that Danny Onions isn't actually our player, so he might be disappearing. So we can't really build a side around him. But we will hopefully play him more through the middle, I think. And then those three and some wing backs and that back 5 with Saka and Maitland-Niles getting on the ball a bit more. And then, whether we start with 2 up front, I don't know. It's going to be interesting how it goes. But that spine is basically settled now around Gabriel, Leno, Aubameyang and Thomas Partey. So that's the sort of core. And the manager's been backed, and he's, that's great for all of us really to see that.
Indeed.
I did ditch Gabriel because we're playing City, and I thought we'll probably lose. So I didn't want an Arsenal defender.
Man City look a different side without a striker, don't they?
They really do. Yeah, they really do. I know. I've just been so used to getting beaten by teams like that for so long. Just need to just get my faith back.
I know what you did. You're doing that whole thing of, well, if I bet against my team in real time, they'll win.
Yes, exactly.
No, leave your clothes on.
Hey, Manners, you picked up David McGoldrick of Sheffield United fame.
Yeah, if in doubt, I do as everyone else.
But
does,
he scored his only goal of the season now. So.
I know. He's benched. It's just if Fulham collapse away up north, Fulham are very leaky.
Yeah, they are very leaky, massively.
I think Willie Hill are already paying out on them to go down.
Are they really? But they've signed 2 good players. They've signed Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's I'm a big fan of.
Why would you want to go there? Why would you even want to go there?
Mate, he's moving from Chelsea to Fulham. They're in the same postcode.
He's been sat on a bench. Even when he wasn't injured and good, they wouldn't play him. He's got to go.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And the other player they signed is the...
But he's walking anywhere.
Ademola Lookman. He's quite tricky. Those 2 together could cause some problems. Gauging when it's going to happen is another thing, though. And do you really believe in Scott Parker as a manager? I'm not sure I do, really.
Not sure I do. I am impressed with Everton, though.
Oh, who isn't? Who isn't?
Look fantastic. I said that they look fantastic, and people were laughing at
because you said they look fantastic 2 weeks after everyone else said it. That's why.
No.
Yes,
People were laughing at the James Rodriguez signing and stuff like that.
mate,
You lot were like, "Oh, he'll be off to China in January. He'll be off to China. He'll be off to China." It's like, no, he's not going anywhere near China. He's going to come to the Prem and be brilliant. And everyone's like, "Well, he didn't do it in Spain." It's like, well,
to be fair to him,
fine, but
he did it in the rain. He passed the rain test.
He is an outrageously good player, and they've made some fantastic signings, and they got a brilliant manager. And do you know what? They remind me of Arsenal in the 97-98 season.
God, Jesus Christ.
They genuinely do.
Why don't they remind you of Chelsea?
I'll tell you why.
Hang on. Can I just ask you a question first? Why don't they remind you of Chelsea in 2009 season?
Well, they just don't.
Carlo Ancelotti was the manager of Chelsea then when he won the league. So why wouldn't they be like that? I can't be
reminded about something that it doesn't remind me of. It's like, well, why doesn't that three-legged chair remind you of a four-legged one? Well, it's got 3 legs. Different.
Yeah, but Carlo Ancelotti owned that chair. So therefore, it's going to be the same chair. He's got the same taste.
I'll tell you why. All right, I won't tell you why then.
Go on, tell us why.
I'll tell you why. Because, it's a club that's slightly in the doldrums, slightly sort of gone nowhere. 1 week you beat Newcastle 3-0 and then you lose 1-0 to West Brom or something like that. That's what they've been doing for the last however many years. A bit like Arsenal were by that period. But the bones of a pretty decent side were already there. You get a brilliant manager in, comes in, assesses the sort of lie of the land for the first half a season. Next season, backed by the board, throw a load of money at it, bring in some brilliant signings and take the league by storm, which nobody saw coming. And I think the two comparisons are actually like very similar. The way I look at them, like set up, the way, Ancelotti is a brilliant manager, there's absolutely no doubt about it. And he coaches people properly and he's made some fantastic signings. He's been backed by the board and they look an absolutely excellent outfit.
Yeah, they do. Whether they can maintain... I mean, if they keep their players fit, there's no reason why they can't. I just think this season, it's up for grabs, isn't it, the title this season?
It's so weird. It's so weird. And we talked about this before. Like the effect of fans. On some clubs, it's absolutely brilliant. On other clubs, it's absolute disaster. I think people like Sheffield United, it's an absolute disaster because it was always horrible to go up there on a Monday night and everyone's a bit pissed and yelling and it's under the lights and it's just really fierce.
Sheffield, yeah.
And that kind of stuff's gone. That's just not happening anymore. It does feel like training ground games every day. It's undoubtedly having a brilliant effect on Arsenal, who seem to be able to play much, much, much better without everyone getting on their back and whinging. So it is interesting how it's going to go. No one's ever going to really know. But, with Man United just all over the place, Chelsea, perhaps you could say Lietzi click, Sheffield United and Leicester Sheffield United miles out of the picture. And with Leicester kind of, having one good game one week and a bad game the other week, they look nothing like the consistent sort of outfit that they were this time last year. I think, top 4 is definitely open. How it's going to go in the Prem, I don't know. It's extraordinary, really. Obviously, you can't see past the top 2.
I fancy Spurs to win the league, Ryder.
Spurs are not going to win the league.
Can you imagine?
There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Well, why not? They've got a manager who's won it. How many times has he won it? 3 times?
He's already skipped straight to the 3rd season, where he falls out with everybody and then leaves.
No, he hasn't. He's watching a completely different side. They just spanked Man United 6-1 at Old Trafford. They look joyous. They look like they're enjoying to play with each other. Like when they celebrated, they were like, yeah. They weren't like, oh, this is a shock. They were celebrating because the plan was coming to fruition. They went, yeah. Well, Son did anyway. That's my impression of Son without it being dubious.
Son is an excellent footballer. There's no doubt. If you've got Son running at you and you even miss the ball by like, half
I would shit my pants, wouldn't you?
It's all over. So
I think I'd have a heart attack and then shit my pants. Boo, boo, boo. Oh, I didn't really hit the note there. I was trying to do one of those announcer bell things. Doo, doo, doo. Sorry. Anyway, I'm interrupting with that annoyingness. Just to remind you, if you're listening and thinking, hey, this is all very good, Alfie, and it's all very fun and like, ha, but it's draft-based and I want to learn about FPL. Well, don't worry, because my FPL show's coming out tomorrow. I'm recording it tonight and I'm hopefully editing it tomorrow. Now, I say hopefully because I'm going out tonight with someone and I'll be having beer. and there may be one more than one, and then two, and there are going to be multiple beers possibly, which means the hangover tomorrow could be unbearable, which might slow me down. But don't worry, I'm going to soldier through, because come on, right. So Will I Beat Magnus will be out tomorrow, and that is FPL centric, and actually it's much more of a geek out session, a much more intricate look in how to win at FPL. I geek out on it, that's for sure, and hopefully those guys will make me win, and you, and everyone. Let's get back to this one. So, talking of Everton, they are playing Liverpool. Now, I don't think home and away makes a difference these days, so I'm not going to say who's home and who's away, but it's the early kickoff. It's a 12:30 kickoff, and I think kickoff times are important now because it seems like the Sunday evening ones are the ones where you get high scores. So Everton versus Liverpool, who's going to win? Man, I was going to come to you first. Everton versus Liverpool, what's going to happen?
I was looking at that because, I've been courted for De Bruyne because I want a Liverpool player. But I just thought of all the weeks to contemplate a big move for even a really decent Liverpool player, this might not be the one.
Can I ask you which Liverpool player has been tapped? Because there's only a few decent Liverpool players that own points.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm only interested if it's Mane or Salah.
Yeah.
So, but on the flip side, I've looked at some multi-transfer deals. But the funny thing is that for once, I'm not looking at my squad anymore. And again, it's down to the squad size. I'm thinking, oh God, I need to renovate this. I need a striker. Like there's some seasons I've literally not got a single striker that barely even bloody well plays, let alone scores. I've got some towering, brilliant midfielder and then nothing in defence really either. So when people come to me with a multi-transfer deal to prize away my best player, I'm sometimes thinking, well, it would give me a rejuvenation in multiple different facets of my team. But in this instance, when people have been hammering me to get De Bruyne and trying to say, look, I'll give you a top class defender and a decent enough striker, and you can even get get rid of your worst midfielder for someone half decent. I'm still like, actually, I'm not. I don't hate my striker. No. So I've got Lacazette, I've got Richarlison, and that those two are decent. If I can get my head around what the bloody hell Arteta's doing with the rotation,
I think you just got to accept that he's going to rotate.
That's fine, but that's going to happen to everything. And, also, like, I'd rather have a rotation system I can pretty much guess, or if I stay on top of the team news, it doesn't matter to me because I've got Richarlison up there. And if I've got quality in other places. Anyway, the point is, I'm not giving up KDB, and I'm not giving him up KDB this weekend, but for a Liverpool player going into, a really, really huge, big, important match, a derby, no less. So
you were going to swap KDB for VVD until we intercepted. Can you imagine that? And then he went in to concede 7 goals.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that, obviously, but I was tempted up. To be honest, as I was saying in some of the negotiations, like the way Liverpool capitulated made me almost as angry as the way City did, but more so with City because I'm like, the only reason I've got your players is because they should score points. I hate everything else about the outfit. And I'm not just talking the kit. And I do hate the kit. But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's also, it goes back to what Phil was saying. Like, it's going to be a weird season without the fans. Like, would Liverpool or Man U or City have let in that many goals if there were fans in the stadium screaming at them when there was another chance and like yelling at them, spitting blood at them when they let in like 3 goals? They would
definitely not.
Even if you're like, I can't get back into this game, there's no point going for hell for leather because we don't want to humiliate the fans. So we'd at least got to lock down the back and stop letting in any more than 3 or whatever.
I think this season, from what I've garnered so far, I think it'd be unwise. I know you've gone for this week, Ryan. It might pay off, but I think clean sheets are something. There's going to be a lot of clean sheets. There's going to be a lot of clean sheets, but there's also going to be a lot of goals the other way. So teams are going to win by big margins. So whether you can guess the right side, that's good.
This is the thing. It's unless you've got one of those players that just goes on a bender, it's proving very, very difficult. So I'm just like, Aubameyang's yet to fire really, and that's been my big problem. He just needs to go into a game when we're playing West Ham and score 3, and then I steamroller somebody. But I'm playing Ben this week, and
yes, you are.
I've got to win that, basically. There's no doubt about it. I just got to win it.
That's a big game for you, actually. It's
a big game at the bottom. I'm at the bottom already, and it's just like, this is ridiculous. It happens every year, although I'm going to try and hang on to what I've got. I'm going to try and hang on to my front 3. By the way, you didn't come to me about the Everton-Liverpool game, and Everton will win that 3-1.
Okay. Well, we went off on a tangent. What am I meant to do? Just stop everyone.
Well, they'll win. Well, that's my opinion. They'll win.
Hang on, let me just ask you then. I can just ask you.
Right,
then edit all this shit out.
You get a lot of bang for your buck with Tommy Gunn, don't you?
So, Tommy Gunn, what do you think about Everton-Liverpool?
Everton-Liverpool, first game of the weekend. Everton will win that 3-1. No doubt about it.
Really? 3-1?
That is the last game. That is the last game Liverpool... Yeah, that is the last game Liverpool want to play. Having on the back of that hiding, international break, they come back, they've got to get themselves together. They've got to play a resurgent Everton at home who are desperate to maintain this trajectory that they're on. They'll get beaten. They'll do what Liverpool always do. They'll play a ridiculous high line. How many offsides did Liverpool get last year? 155. I'll tell you the answer because nobody's going to get that. The next highest side, though, was 120. That is how many times Liverpool's offside trap works, because they're ridiculous line, and they'll go into this game doing exactly what they do every game, thinking they can outsmart Ancelotti, and they won't. And their time is, it's not up. I'd love to say it's up.
Big statement, mate. Big statement.
I'd love to say I was really hoping that this, because they hadn't really made any signings, and I thought they'll go into this season and maybe everyone will just be a little bit tired and just a little bit sort of worn out with it all. And that front 3 that they just persist with every game. Everyone might just be a little bit jaded, but there was no real sign of that until last week. I'm just desperate to see more competitive league. Liverpool won it by so much last season. It was just such a joke.
Yeah, it will be different this year.
I'm delighted that they've already lost a game and we can have that season unbeaten conversation done and dusted already.
Done,
that's just refreshing. When it gets to February and people go, it's going to go season unbeaten, then Arsenal Twitter have to get involved and all that jazz. But so I'm just glad that that's out the way. Do you know what today is?
Can I?
12th of October. Can I just ask you a question? Do you know what today is?
I've got stuff to do.
Just on a side note.
Go on then.
Well, what happened today? Why is the 12th of October a significant day?
It's a day before Nathan's birthday.
Oh, that's good, but it's not the answer I was looking for. Today's the day that Le Professeur came to the Arsenal.
Oh, is it really? All those 1996? 1996.
Yeah, today's the day.
It's his birthday.
Version. It's his birthday next week on the 22nd. So good. That's another. That's why October is an important day for Arsenal fans.
Are you going to get him a card that says you are the best dad in the world?
I do send him a card. He's never replied.
You are allowed to laugh, man, as it's fine.
Me and Gunnosaurus.
I love the buoyancy and the belief. He just keeps bouncing back. He doesn't get very demoralised.
What, being an Arsenal supporter, you mean?
No, not that. Yeah, but more just with the football. Very, very happy to predict exactly what's going to happen in the Liverpool Everton game. And I just can see that going completely tits up and Liverpool doing a nice 2-0, no problem. Really nullifying Everton. And even if we do, he won't be disappointed by that. He'll come back with some big hot takes ready for the next week. Honestly, doesn't mind.
It's the defiance, isn't it? The defiance.
The Buffalo Bills have got a rookie quarterback, and they inevitably make mistakes and big mistakes like interceptions and stuff. And the thing you need in a quarterback is one that will just be like, I played terribly, literally 4 minutes ago when I was on the field, and now I've got to go back out there and just carry on and just pretend none of that happened. And the ones that are always a bit shit are the ones that can't forget and get nervy about what the mistake they made before. Whereas with Ryder, he's a bit like the Bills quarterback. He just comes out, right, yeah, well, whatever, what's next?
Ryder, you are the Jordan Pickford of our league.
You know what they say, today's news is tomorrow's fish and chip paper. So we've all got opinions.
And he's got some great T-shirts.
But it's how much you back your opinions. That's what I like. That's
Oh,
what's
absolutely.
good.
I mean, there's been a lot of back ollies, which I've liked this week. There's been a lot of that.
Oh, it's
going on.
ridiculous.
Like, none of the players. I mean, the only player. I've listened to a lot of it this week, and the only person who really came out and went, Ollie's just hopeless, was Rory Smith on the
because
on
he's a
5 Live.
good news reporter.
Because he actually knows what he's talking about. But none of the ex-players really want to pile into him. Nobody's really sort of saying. I mean, Evra's been saying a bit. He just said, "You are the problem here." But from a sort of a journo's point of view, it's been a bit weird. I mean, there's that massive sort of BBC bias anyway that they. Everybody that seems to be a Man United fan that writes BBC Sport, apart from Dawkes. So it is a bit weird, isn't it? But I'm delighted to keep him in the job for as long as possible because he really just doesn't know what he's doing. It's fantastic.
For the, I think it was England versus Belgium game when G-Nev was commentating. And
United.
I mean,
United.
I love him.
United.
I love him, but when pressed on United, he just will not concede that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his mate, is dog shit.
No,
he won't say
the board's fault. The board haven't backed him. The club's in turn. We need a director of football. Extraordinary.
Also, he does this thing that goes, they've obviously got to spend, in the middle of the match, he started realising the humiliation that was taking place on his once former great club. He started droning on about the transfer window, which I just thought was a bit of poor taste. It's like you're going to be there commentating on this shit show that's in front of you, not just start saying, well, they've obviously got to look forward to the transfer window, got to bring in some quality now. You can't. I mean,
that's all they do. That's all they do is go out and spend 30 million quid on players.
Right?
That's all they do. That's all the board does. It's like, well, who do you want? Oh, this guy. Well, all right, going amazing.
But I feel sorry for Man United fans because they're all. Can you honestly imagine though if you've grown up your whole life and all you've ever known is victory and winning, and they had the winning mentality. It was amazing. They've not experienced bad managers. We can sniff them out as fans of other clubs. We can smell bad managers a mile off, but they can't. They have no idea. They're basically like a Div 4 club, but in the Premier League. They're run like a Div 4 club, but they're in Premier League.
I also think what Ferguson did, having a sort of such a towering figure, it masks loads of things. It's not just having a good manager and good squad.
Yeah.
You need a top-down approach. You need every part of your club to be functioning to be a big dynasty. And the problem with Ferguson of having someone so dominant as Ferguson is that it hides any other the deficiencies that might have been lurking around, like the Woodward thing and the this and that, and they come to the fore as soon as you.
Well, it was the Glazer thing rather than the Woodward thing. I mean, he had an excellent director of football with David Gill for so long, as a right hand man doing so much stuff behind the scenes. Who was just a brilliant. Operations director, basically. So as a GM,
but you're overlooking. But you can say all that. But ultimately, they had Ferguson, who was a once in a lifetime manager. He was absolute. He's like asking, like he was the Diego Maradona of managers, if that stands up. But they're never going to get someone like that, so they have to build a good structure. Anyway, I'm bored of United. Let's move on. Do you want to talk some more fixtures, or do you want to
talk some?
Can I just say one more? Well, literally one more thing about United. My brother-in-law, who has been a Man United fan ever since he was a kid, and is very, very discombobulated by what's happened over the last few years, thinks just like a Man United fan. Though he just keeps like saying through the summer when I'm on holiday with him, he's always like, "Oh, I think we're going to get Sancho. Yeah, that'll sort it out. He's just obsessed with this idea that all Man United, just like G-Nev in the middle of that bloody game, just need to get a signing in. That's the club in itself is so dripping in glory that you just need to slot in the right player and boom, you get. Because I think they attached some of their glory to things like the Cantona signing and the this and that. It wasn't. It was a top-down approach and having the best manager of all time, or one of the best managers of all time. But you can't now just buy a decent player and suddenly your club will get better.
No. Absolutely agree. It's nonsense. You've got to be able to coach your defence for starters. The defence that they spent hundreds of millions on, by the way, haven't they?
Harry Maguire, it's just unfathomable. 80 million, was it really 80 million?
They spent 80 million on him, and how much did they spend on Wan-Bissaka? 50. I mean, Wan-Bissaka's a great player. Don't get me wrong.
He's a good player.
But Maguire could be a good player when he was playing under a good coach. I mean, this isn't rocket science. When he was playing under a good coach at Leicester, he was good. It's
But was he a
easiest thing to get to.
But is he a generational talent of defender?
No,
is he like Van Dijk, who's coming out and doing all kinds of different things that you haven't asked defenders to do before? Like when Rio, like people got gasped at that, but you know, if you look back at what Rio achieved as a defender, he did change, or he was able to play a really high level for a long time because he had loads more to his game. Harry Maguire is this really decent centre back, but basically he's not 80 million. He's not doing anything 1D.
He's the definition of a 1D, sort of early 90s centre-back.
Maybe you think I am just an idiot, but the reality is that I'm bad because my dog died. My dog died and I'm fucked. Deeply fucked.
Yes, that's why I'm fucked. It's a bad time I luck that this be happening on Christmas Day. Yeah. Why does it have to be that the shark should tease his DD on Christmas Day? I just wanna get myself a dog, or maybe just a frog plug. Wait, see, get yourself a log up. What's that new? Do you like dogs? My dog be dead. What now? My dog be dead. See what? My dog be dead.
Deeply fucked. And I want you to know that.
Give myself a dog. Yes, you may be confused. Well, don't worry, this is the end of the show. But that was... okay, I don't know what that was. Just yesterday, I set out to make a new sting. I need to make new stings for the shows. Stings are the little instrumentals, just in case you didn't know. And decided to do one about Jose's dead dog. And I don't really know. And it just turned into this house tune. And it's not finished yet, but I will finish it. I think it's banging. Yeah. So yeah, more music to come and stuff like that. I'll post it all on Twitter if you follow me on there and stuff. Thank you for listening today. I quite enjoyed. I love speaking to the boys. I mean, there was a lot more laughter that recorded. I mean, we recorded for a long time, but also there's so much guff that I saved you from, and so much nonsense. It's quite funny when you listen back because you just sort of realise how much you and your mates can just ramble on and bore the tears off the world around you without realising. Yeah, so don't worry, or maybe I'll bore the tears off you in the half hour or 40 minutes you've been listening. Hopefully not. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. This show, it might be every 2 weeks because of availabilities and stuff, and because I could do gigs around this as well, and it can get a bit time consuming as well, and for everyone else who can join in as well. Everyone's got work. You know how it is. Good. Well, enjoy game week 4. If I don't speak to you tomorrow on the FPL podcast, enjoy game week 4 tomorrow. Good luck. Sorry, game week 5. What is wrong with me? I need a dead dog. Right, see you later. Bye.
Hello, football. Are you ready to go to Das Boot Room? Drink some beer, talk some stuff, roll about, get football rough in Das Boot Room of Das Boot Room. Are you scoring?